was looking for a generation. Do you see what I see?
So I'm here in Maradi at the end of the church planting conference, and during the conference we heard a testimony from these two church planters. They were at the last conference we hosted here back in December of 2016. And at the end of that conference, as many of the pastors, church planters did, they made a commitment to go to the unreached. And so these two gentlemen made that commitment. And God has been doing a great work among the Fulani people, in particular a unreached group here in Niger. And I've asked Sister Lola, one of the leaders here in the Maradi region, to share the story of what has happened among this Fulani people group and with these great men of God.
Praise God. So we really thank God for what God is doing among the Fulanis, and we thank God, really appreciate the effect or the impact of the conference on what is happening. So my husband and I started a Bible study in town with some Fulanis in town, and we thought that was it. But before we knew it, it became something, a big outreach, a revival, even to the desert areas where the Fulanis live. And we started this work, but we would go and stay there. Thanks be to God for the conference. This is Pastor Ishaya, and this is Pastor Matthew. After the conference, they were so burdened and passionate for the unreached, and they were ready to go. So we took them for a scouting trip at the Fulani territories, which is very different from where they're coming. And we thought they'll be scared and say, oh, okay, we can go. Well, thank God for the fire from the conference. They were like, yes, we are ready to go. And so they're there discipling. There's a church planted in Budunduba, another church planted in Bujumbaki. And the believers, some of them are around, and they're really excited, thirsty for the work. Thank God for the conference. Thank God for all of you praying for the Fulanis. Amen.
Would you share the story about what happened at Christmas time between the two villages?
Praise God. So these are two villages. Pastor Mati is in Baki, Pastor Shaya is in Budunduba. And for Kamashakara, no one is Basuyi Magana. Giving you Basuyi Magana, Shakara, no. Okay. So for a couple of years, the two villages were at war. They would greet each other, they would talk to each other. When they meet each other on the way, they can almost stab each other. But after hearing the gospel, the two villages came together and they celebrated last Christmas together. That's a wonderful testimony. We thank God for the revival, for the forgiveness, for the love of Christ I shared in these villages. Amen.
When the men were sharing with me today their testimony, they said at the conference that we had in 2016 that when they were responding, it felt like the compassion of Jesus was implanted in their heart. And they didn't know at the time what doors would open for them. And I love this testimony of how the Lord calls us into something and how He pours His love in our hearts. And then as we respond, He opens up doors. And today we're going to get to take pictures and even see some of the families that have been impacted in this village. And we just know that this is just the beginning. And as I heard this testimony, it really connected to the 7 people groups that we want to mobilize church planters for, that this same story is going to be multiplied among these people groups. And even today, we heard that they've been doing medical outreaches. They've been bringing medical professionals from Nigeria up to do the outreaches. And 3 of the people groups are represented in these outreaches. Some of the more difficult, the Timbuktu or Malay and Tamajek and the Tagdil people are actually coming to these villages to receive medical care. So we see God is at work, and it's so exciting to join Him in that. So thank you for praying for the Fulani people, for these 2 men of God as they reach out, and for our sister as they reach out to the unreached here in Niger. So God bless you. Hallelujah.